We all think of life as a journey, right? But here's the thing, not every journey comes with a map for all the unexpected stuff. So what if you could actually spot the pitfalls in your relationships, in your habits, even in yourself before you stumble into them? That's exactly what we're going to dig into today. A really practical guide for navigating some of life's most common and frankly most hidden road hazards.
So, just think about that for a second. Are you really prepared for what's coming down the road? And I'm not just talking about the big, obvious stuff. I mean the subtle traps. The ones that sneak up on you in your relationships and your personal life, the ones we usually don't see until we're already stuck. It's a huge question, but the good news? There's absolutely a way to be better prepared.
Okay, so if you're going to navigate a really tricky landscape, you need a guide who knows the terrain, right? Someone who's been there. Well, the insights we're about to explore come from someone who has spent a whole lifetime mapping out these exact hazards. So let's meet the expert who's going to be our guide.
Now, this is so important. This isn't just theory from some dusty textbook. As the author, Lane Lasater, puts it, this whole guide comes from a place of genuine gratitude. He's sharing these incredibly hard-won lessons from both a long career and his own personal life, which makes this advice feel so much more real and practical.
And his professional background? Well, that's key. Lane Lasater isn't just an author. He's a retired clinical psychologist. What that means is that every single piece of advice we're going to look at is backed by years and years of understanding the complexities of how we humans tick, all from a clinical perspective.
All right, so we've met our guide. Now it's time to actually look at the map itself. What are these unseen road hazards anyway? Let's get really clear on what we're actually looking for.
And here it is. This is the core idea. These hazards aren't like sudden, dramatic crashes. Nope. They're more like slow-moving traps. They're those subtle, creeping problems that you don't even realize you're in the middle of until, bam, you're already tangled up in them.
And that is exactly what makes them so dangerous. They're not like a giant open pothole that you can just swerve to avoid. It's much more like hitting an invisible patch of black ice. You're already sliding into trouble before your brain can even register the danger. And that's why being aware is everything. Which brings us to this powerful, classic saying, forewarned is forearmed. Look, the whole point of this isn't to make you paranoid or worried. Not at all. It's to make you powerful. Knowing these hazards exist is the tool you need to take back control.
The goal here is actually super simple and practical. It's all about learning to recognize the warning signs early, because the sooner you spot a potential hazard, the easier it is to steer around it, minimize any damage, and just get yourself back on the right track.
So, what does this whole proactive plan actually look like? Well, this guide is built around 6 specific road hazards. These are the key areas of life where these traps show up most often. Let's take a look at the full roadmap.
And here we go. This is the core of it all, the 6 key hazards. First up, knowing your own addiction risk, because self-awareness is always going to be your best line of defense. Second is really understanding addictive behavior, and not just with substances, but as a pattern that can pop up anywhere. Third, we get a look at the actual recovery process and why it's a journey, not just a switch you can flip. Now, number 4 is a huge one for relationships, learning that razor-thin line between genuinely helping someone and accidentally enabling their bad behavior. Fifth is all about shifting from trying to control people to using positive influence, which, let's be honest, works so much better. And finally, number 6 gives you clear policies for dealing with difficult people, which is really just about setting healthy boundaries to protect yourself. So you see, this isn't just a list, it's a whole system for navigating some really complex stuff.
Okay, so you've just seen the whole roadmap. That might feel like a lot. So the big question is, where do you even start? With all these potential hazards out there, what's the single most important first step you can take on your own journey?
You know what? It really all boils down to one simple thing: awareness. Just knowing that these traps exist is the most powerful tool you could possibly have. I mean, you can't avoid what you can't see, right? Think of this knowledge as the headlights on your car, cutting through the darkness and lighting up the road ahead.
So as we wrap this up, the question isn't just, hey, what did you learn? It's, what are you going to do? Think back to that list of 6 hazards. Which one of those kind of resonated with you? Which one felt a little too familiar, maybe? The journey to bypassing these pitfalls starts with one small step, deciding which hazard you're going to learn to spot first.